Hello, I am super excited to make a snow person head with you guys today. So, today you're gonna get your clay. It's wrapped in a like wet little towel. This just keeps the clay so it doesn't dry out for Mrs. Constein, okay? This will go up front. I'll probably come and collect them and I just put them in one of my little bins. Then you're gonna get your ball of clay and you can start to squeeze it into a ball, okay? And then put it down on your board right here, and you're gonna get a rolling pin, and we're gonna start to roll out your clay. Now I'm gonna roll this way for a little while, but then I wanna stop, and then I'm gonna start to roll this way. And then I'm gonna stop again, and I'm gonna roll this way because remember we're making snow people heads. So I'm trying to get my clay so that I can make it into a circle. Now, let me keep rolling it out. You don't want your clay to get too thin. If it gets too thin, these are going to fall apart. So I'm gonna check my clay, and this is a rule that we use all the time in clay. We wanna stop rolling out the clay when it looks about as thick as your finger. So I look at the thickness of my finger from the side, and then I put it next to my clay and I check it. Oh, it looks really like perfect, the same thickness as my finger. So I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna roll anymore. I don't wanna get it too thin because then this will crack and break. Then up front, I have these circle cutters, and I'm gonna put my circle cutter in, but I'm not gonna put it in the middle of this. I'm gonna kind of put it off to the side because I wanna use this extra stuff over here for like my eyes, my nose, maybe a scarf, maybe a hat, whatever you guys like, okay? So put the circle on your rolled out piece of clay. This is called a slab. Push down, okay? And then I might kind of give it a turn, like twist it, like you're twisting a doorknob. Then I'm gonna pull that off. And now I have my circle. Okay, this is going to be my head. Then I'm gonna use these pieces. Up front, I have lots of different tools for you guys, but I do have this little tool. It kind of looks like a little plastic butter knife, and I'm going to use this to cut out my shapes and the pieces that I want to add to my snow person. So I know I want to add a carrot nose, so I'm going to cut, I think, a little triangle right here. And if it doesn't look exactly the way you want, use your fingers, kind of make it into that shape. So now, there we go. The triangle didn't look the right shape to me in the beginning, but now I've got it. So I've got a triangle. I'm just placing it on here right now just to see what it looks like, but they're not glued on yet, and I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. Now I want to have some eyes, so I'm just going to take a little piece of clay, and then I'm going to roll it between my hands, make one of my eyes. I'll grab another little piece. Try to get the same amount of clay from your extra clay. Roll it, and now I've got two eyes. I'd like to have a mouth, but I'm not sure that I want to make a mouth out of clay. I think I might go up front and get this drawing tool. It's just like a little stick, and I think I'm just going to add a smiley face by carving into my clay. So let me lift up my nose there, and now I've got my little smile. Now, if you would like to add some extra things to your snow person, you totally can. Let's see, I might make a little hat. Let's think. If you want to draw it first, I think that's what I want to do. I want to draw it with this tool and make sure that I have it the way that I like. So I could make like a traditional kind of hat. I actually want it kind of bigger. So let me go. Oh, I'm glad I used this drawing tool, because then, and when I made a mistake there and I didn't make it quite big enough, I was able to change it. Okay, so now that I've drawn it in there, I'm going to use my little tool here, cut along the edge and you're just cutting it out. So I'm going to cut that shape right there, like that. And now I've got my hat. I think I'm going to place it like that. Oh yeah, I like that. I'm glad I made a hat. If you want to smooth out the edges, I know the edges look kind of choppy, use your finger and just kind of smooth it out. Okay, get it to look the way that you want. Now that I have all my parts made, extra clay can go up front. There's one of these little buckets. Put it in the bucket, and then maybe somebody else would like to use your extra clay, okay? Or maybe you want to keep using it, and maybe you want to add like a scarf or something, okay? Totally up to you. Now, these pieces need to be glued onto your clay. When you glue clay together, we call this slip. All it is glue and water, okay? And I put a container at every table for you guys, and it just kind of looks like, I don't know, gosh, just like kind of runny clay, okay? So that is going to be the glue, but you can't just put glue onto your pieces and then onto here and stick them together. Before you do that, we call it score, slip, and blend. So scoring, you have to scratch your clay with a fork. So make sure you go get a fork, scratch your piece. So I'm gonna scratch my hat, okay, the back of it. And then I'm gonna scratch with my fork where I wanna put the hat. So I want it to go right on top. So I scratched, oh, sorry you guys. And I scratched where I wanna put it. And then I'm gonna add the glue. So it's kind of like when you're gluing paper, except there's one extra step, and that's scratching the surface with the fork. Okay, so I place that glue on there. Well, actually, it's just clay and water, but we call it slip. It works as glue. And I'm gonna stick it on there and push down, give it a little pressure so that it stays in place. I think I got it. Now I need to do that with my eyes, so I'm just gonna use maybe the side of the fork because the eyes are much smaller. So I scratch where I want them, and I'm gonna scratch the surface where I want my little carrot nose. So now I have everything planned out. Now I have to scratch with my fork the back of my eyes and the back of my nose. Okay, so I do that, and now it's time for glue. Just like that. A little bit of glue on the back of all my pieces. And there's my other eye. There we go. Now that I've got that slip on there, remember it's the glue of clay, I push it on where I want it, and I give it a little pressure. Don't just place it on there. Make sure you give it a little push. And now my nose, I want it right there. Okay, and now you can kind of use your finger and just smooth things out, make it look really nice. If you want to add a design or a texture, you totally can. Maybe I'll add the middle of my eye, the pupil right there. Maybe I want to add some of the texture to carrots. They have those little lines on it. And you know what else I just thought of? I think I'm going to put a little holly on my hat. They look like little leaves with the berries. So I'm just going to draw it on there. Oh, I like how that looks. I could put a line across my hat like that. Oh, I like how this turned out. Now, you're almost done, but don't forget a really important step. Very gently, you're gonna flip over your snow person, and I want you to write your name with the little tiny stick. So you gotta kind of go slow. You don't wanna push in too hard. Go gently. Nice and slow. I'm writing Mrs. Constein. You guys can just write your first name like that. All right. And if you want to write your grade and then the first initial of your teacher's name, I'll put that up on the board for you guys if you want to include that, just in case your snow person, when we bake these in that clay oven, the kiln, just in case it would get mixed up with another class, I would be able to find it. Okay, so, oh my goodness, I love this. Now that I have my name on it, my teacher's initials, and what grade I'm in, I'm gonna go put this on the cart and look for your teacher's name, okay? All right, I can't wait to see your designs.